Sam here, and I wanted to give you three tickers to look at before Monday. Now, I'll give you the tickers right away. It's MP, ONDS, and FSLR. So, MP just had earnings. ONDS is in the hot drone sector, and FSLR is also looking pretty good on earnings. MP is holding up. It's also a rare earth stock, so it's in a hot sector as well. Now, I will jump in, but I want to say that you got to be careful right now. We're up 40%, so I'm giving you the best tickers I could possibly find, but do your own research as well. All right. So look, MP had earnings back here in May, and they were good, you know, small miss, but the real headline is this Department of Defense partnership, which basically rocketed this run here. DoD is going to buy magnets, and Apple is investing 500 million to build recycling and magnet production facilities in the U.S. Magnets doesn't sound very exciting, but rare earths are incredibly important in terms of U.S.-China tensions, and MP had a huge boost from that news. You can see this move is incredible, like 60% in a single day after it had been doing nothing for weeks. So next earnings report is next week. It's actually at the end of the week on Thursday. And we're going to see if they talk about progress on those, on that DoD agreement, basically, any new strategic partners, anything like that. Because again, the earnings move was basically non existent. We can see earnings happened here. But this agreement with the DoD caused this move. What's impressive here is that while most of the market is going down, MP is actually holding up since mid-July. But the past two down days, this day and this day, MP had super strong green candles. So that's why it's on the list here. ONDS is a drone. Well, a lot of their business is drones. You can put them in the RCAT bucket in terms of other tickers. And basically, I like the technical setup of the undercut rally. So there's these left side peaks here that rejected, and then it held it basically here, close enough, undercut, rallied above the 50 moving average and these left side peaks. And it's hitting this 20 moving average. So could be an opportunity to buy it if it dips a little bit off of, or you could use this close here or one of these closes as a risk level, but basically it undercut and it rallied. Now to talk about the actual fundamentals, which I know is what we want to talk about here, make it make sense, right? They're in industrial governments. Q1 earnings in May showed a little loss, but we saw the move was pretty incredible. And they had Investor Day on July 9th, and they updated their growth strategy ahead of earnings, which are going to be in 2 weeks. You have plenty of time to buy this with a risk level and just hold it, which is actually important because you don't want to gamble into earnings. They do have partnerships with big aerospace names, and they did price an offering recently, but it doesn't look like it affected the stock price. So that's good. A lot of times, especially with companies that are good, these offerings can be bullish. So that offering was right here on the 10th, and the stock went up. It did pull back, but generally has gone up significantly since then. So that's a good sign. So that's ONDS. The third stock here is not in his hottest sector. No pun intended, or pun intended? No pun intended. Solar is not doing great. Here's the TAN solar ETF. It's kind of fading off. Maybe it'll bounce off this 50-day moving average. You do have some technical areas in which it could bounce, but look at some other names: Array, NXE, ENPH. Really ugly earnings, follow through. But I did find one that had an earnings reaction that was actually okay, which is really rare right now. So Could this pull back just like almost every other earnings in the past couple of weeks, besides Meta, which even Meta pulled back a little bit? It could, but so far it looks like it's holding okay. So FSLR, big earnings, and that's why 318, $3.18 per share. So revenue of 1.1 billion, stronger than forecast, and they raised full year guidance to about 5 billion. And the big boost here is U.S. tariffs on solar imports, Indonesia, India, and Laos. FSLR is a U.S. company, so they actually like tariffs. So look, the price rebound here after the sell-off is strong. You can see in the background this green overlay. That's the SPY the last couple of days, 2% down days on Thursday and Friday. FSLR holding super strong. So it could be momentum here, particularly if the SPY corrects on Monday. So despite it being in a sector that's not super strong, which is solar. So those are the names: MP, ONDS, FSLR. Different sectors, right? MPs and rare earths, ONDS and basically drones, defense, and FSLR and solar, but they do have that earnings momentum. So I am looking for basically an easy way to get into all of these. And I think that's what you ought to be looking for too. Everyone trades a little differently. That's why it's great to just get ideas from different people, but you could take it on a breakout over, 66. You could take it. This is another pretty strong level that it moved above here. You can see how, this is ugly zigzags, but in general, this is a pretty strong stock MP where you can find some risk levels that are somewhat reasonable. Maybe you can see I actually took it here. I did get stopped out, but it did move up on that day. So, you don't have to have volume on your chart like I do. I'm not even altogether sure I use this that often, but it does show what we can already see without having this volume is that this is a pretty clear level to risk off of. ONDS levels, again, the volume would show here. And I think we could see that pretty much without that volume. If we want to look on the 24-hour daily, this is 2.14. This is 2.14. So you could do that. See it held here. It did drop below the 20-day here, but reclaimed. So that's definitely a level for ONDS. But as long as you have tight risk, you should be fine. Might take a loss because everything's rolling over right now, but if you're looking for names to get positioned in, these are good ones. Relatively. FSLR, maybe just risking this close. It's not the most high volume close. Volume's not significant compared to these down days or this huge day right here. But these candles are pretty tight, so you could definitely risk this level right here of 183. So those are three names. Hope that helps. And make sure to get ready for Monday and be careful because we're still super extended ever since April.